All right. Hello all. I am Karthik Rangarajan. I'm a graduate student at Georgia Tech. I am doing my master's in information security, and I am also the team lead for the e-democracy group at Georgia Tech. Uh, we are part of the virtually integrated projects team. It's basically the point of the virtually integrated projects is to try and focus on getting academia and the industry in the same groups. Now, I work for the e-democracy team, which has two sub-teams. One of them is redistricting, the other is electronic election observation. Redistricting is basically an effort to electronically draw the U.S. districts based on the population to ensure that there's a term they use for it. I forget what it is. Gerrymandering, yes, thank you. So that there is no gerrymandering, they have all these algorithms that do it fast, and they've been doing really good work. I work on the electronic election observation. It's a project in collaboration with the Carter Center, where um, basically the Carter Center is invited to observe elections where they're doing something new, like they're going from a dictatorship to an election, or from ballot election to an electronic election, and so on. So Philippines did its first electronic elections in May 2010, and the TCC, along with a bunch of other people, I think European Union, um, and I'm forgetting the name. So the European Union was definitely there. So they were one of the people to observe the elections. And so the usual way they do it is that they have a bunch of paper forms which ask the questions like, did the election open on time? Did these people steal the ballots, or and so on? And observers fill out these questionnaires, and then at the end of the election, someone out there puts it on an Excel spreadsheet. The analysts do the, data analysis and decide whether the election was actually valid or not valid, and so on. In a large election, it's a pain, and there are so many forms that they get confused and they lose the forms, and then 2 months later, when when the president is already sworn in or whatever, they have the results. So what we try to do is get the same thing and on an Android app. So we have the exact same forms, including the yes or no, or the check boxes, all of these things. We have it on an Android app. So all they have to do is take the phone, take something, press submit, and it comes as an SMS to be captured on the command center, which is basically this Mac running Linux. So one of the main design goals for us was an entirely offline system. So I think the first country where we were supposed to pilot the system was Sudan, and we were hearing from people that there was like where the headquarters where they were based in had no internet connection, and they were like, if you guys don't have internet, then the system is pointless to us. So we were aiming at making the system entirely offline, and the other main design goal was that we would have all the observers mapped at any points of time. There have been incidences where observers are lost, or they have no clue where they are, or they've just been, well, I don't know if kidnap has happened or not, but they say that it might happen. So we want to locate them at all points of time. So we wanted to depend only on the SMS network, which our public policy researchers said, it's everywhere. The main requirement was an offline mapping system. So our answer, after I don't know, very short research, was OpenStreetMaps, because we have the weekly snapshot of Planet OSM, and then our goal was to extract it, put it in the database, and then use GeoServer or map server along with it. So I started the effort with this machine, with running Windows Vista. I couldn't find an updated OSM to PG SQL to do it, and it kept crashing, and I wasted a lot of time. And then I tried doing it on Ubuntu on my machine, but then there was like 20 GB of hard disk space. I just gave up. Then I got a VM provision with RHEL 5. I cannot describe to you how painful it was to install everything from source and get the latest packages, because they don't give us the latest packages. I had to to install Mapnik, I had to get Boost 1.42 and install Python from source and all kinds of things. It was the most painful process I've done. But then we got into the database. We were marginally successful in rendering it, but it wasn't good enough. So I then started Googling on how I can get it onto map server, and then I found this thing called GeoServer, which apparently has a GUI which you can configure, like just put in the values and it'll render the map for you. I was like, cool, this is easy. So I tried that. I said, okay, so let me try GeoServer, and then for some reason, it was crashing every time I tried it. Like, I gave it 16 GB of RAM, I gave it 8 cores, whatever I did, it would crash. So I then said, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe it's because of the VM. So I just asked for a MacBook and got the latest Linux machine on it. Followed the same procedure. Then GeoServer still did not do what I wanted it to do. Finally, I got it working with map server. I found a program that wrote the map file for me, which was basically why I was avoiding map server. So the maps were slow, but they got rendered, as in I could actually see the map. I did not have to use internet. I could actually see, the completely zoomed out version of the map. But as soon as I zoomed in, it was really slow. And then I found a good guide that walked me through how to get it on a mapnik, and I think generate mapnik tiles, like generate those multiple images that would render it on mapnik. But then it worked on lower zoom levels. It clapped out at higher ones. Actually still have no clue why. And then I found somewhere on the wiki that mentioned that the current OSM uses mod tile and the rendered Python script. So I installed both, modified the configuration files to match my system, and one of the main constraints we had was that our system was in Flash, so we had to get the maps onto a Flash API, which was, well, there was UMaps and then there was Modest Maps. Someone had written the program for me already. I was like, okay, fine, let's just use Modest Maps. So we got it loaded up on Modest Maps, got it centered on Atlanta, and it's not the most powerful computer. It's not the latest MacBook out there, but it was really fast. Like, once I got the maps, once I got it zoomed in, zoomed out, whatever, I could load the maps at, like, they were coming from the OSM server or whatever it was. So we used it for our EDMOC system, electronic distributed election monitoring over cellular systems. We've deployed it in Philippines. The command center received messages at the rates of 5 messages per minute or something like that. The maps performed exceptionally well. We actually could locate the observers within a few feet of their locations. So there's actually an image that shows, so the elections were held in schools. So there is one image that shows the observer sitting right on the school, which is great. So we actually also, so one of them was lost. We could even give them directions saying, you're here, you need to go here, and things like that, which is really good. Yeah, so on the lighter side, we knew that observers weren't sitting in a coffee shop and saying this is what is happening in the election. So we knew where they were at any point of time. These are some screenshots. The actual maps weren't working, so I just had some screenshots. So I got it up, but now I got the maps working, so I can actually show what it is. But these are some screenshots we took on the election day. There were basically 5 teams. Yeah, so we, the e-democracy team, that's the URL for the e-democracy team. You can reach me either at the ISD podcast or my CC website, College of Computing website. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what we had for Philippines. If I can run it again. Ah, yes. There you go. All right, so I'm not connected to the internet, I think. Yeah, I'm not connected to the internet, but then this is small. Okay, can I do anything to make it better? Oh, well. So this is the map we had for Philippines that's focused on, I guess, a couple of teams. It's showing a couple of teams. But then what I was talking about when I said it actually zoomed in on the exact location they were in is this. So they were in the Commonwealth School or something. Commonwealth Elementary School. So it's right there. They were there. It actually, so I guess GPS or whatever. But then, as you can see, I zoom out, zoom in, move around. It's as fast as you would expect it to be. I guess the whole of Philippines, the tiles are being caged, so it takes no time to render it. No matter where I zoom into or zoom out of, it takes less than, I guess the maximum delay I've seen is 15 seconds when I've went to a sparsely mapped area, and that's when it took the longest time. But if I go to all these, let's see if I can find the hotel that we were staying in. Yeah, we were staying somewhere around this area. But yeah, so as you can see, it's really fast. It has, I haven't updated it with the latest map data because I'm scared to lose what I have. So, but we were very happy with what it did. And I mean, I expected it to serve a purpose. I didn't expect it to work so well because that's, after all, a PC and it's not a server that's running it. So that's my work, and I'll be happy to take questions. Right.
Did you write this up in terms of helping someone, the next person, sort of create an offline system like this?
Yes, I'm actually in the process. It's going to come up in my blog, in the eDemocracy blog, actually. What I'm trying to do, though, is instead of writing what I did for this, I'm trying to recreate the whole thing so that I know exactly what I did. Because this is a process that it took me over 3 months. I did a lot of stupid things. A lot of things that was unnecessary. So I'm trying to do exactly what is required so that people don't go on a wild goose chase, trying to making the same mistakes I made. So I have another computer that is as good as this, provisioned the same way. I'm trying to recreate the same things to see if I get any problems. So far it's been good. So as soon as I get the same system working on it, I'm going to put it out there. I actually have a bunch of people, mappers in Philippines, asking for it because they saw this happening and they were like, we want to see how it happened.
So it's something that on the wiki would be really wonderful.
Yes, I will get it on my blog, and I can post it. Yes, I will do that. Thank you.